to deter before this day is done. We shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Happy Comic-Con week. The Avengers Doomsday trailer's been out for a couple days. Everyone thinks they spotted a version of Iron Man hiding in the background, along with a couple big reveals at Comic-Con featuring some new Doctor Doom-looking variants that Marvel is calling Latverian witches, and they line up with previous reports about the plot of the movie, so we'll break it all down. Because it is Comic-Con week, we have the big Marvel Studios panel happening Saturday night. It's supposed to be mostly for Avengers Doomsday, but maybe Kevin Feige will release some details about other upcoming movies, maybe a couple more teasers too. Whatever they wind up releasing, of course I'll do all the videos for it. We got some new footage at the Marvel booth at Comic-Con. It features a bunch of the costumes in the movie and a new version of the Marvel Studios logo with Avengers Doomsday artwork inside the letters this time. I don't think that Marvel is actually going to use this in the movie itself when we see it in theaters. I think this is just for this particular Comic-Con promo. When the movie actually releases, they'll probably still do the traditional thing of a regular type of Marvel logo with the pages flipping from Marvel Comics of all the characters in the movie and updating the characters in the letters with scenes from more recent movies. There have been a couple times like the Thunderbolts movie where they'll have like slight variants on that Marvel intro, but for the most part, it's the same Marvel Studios intro. They just update minor aspects, minor things inside the logo itself. But we got a way better look at Cyclops' costume. You can clearly see, once you can zoom and enhance here on the details, he's got the gold visor, but they're not doing his yellow trunks or the yellow gloves from the comics, maybe because they thought that was just a little too much for the movie. They didn't want to do full Superman and have him wearing the trunks. You also remember that in the live-action MCU movies, they only let Doctor Strange wear his yellow gloves like one brief time, like very, very brief yellow gloves. Maybe Marvel just really hates yellow gloves. The thing that everyone was going crazy about was a character Marvel was calling the Latverian Witch, and she's wearing a metal Doctor Doom mask with the same green-coated robes, and the runes on her armor pieces here are the same runes etched on Doctor Doom's suit and his armor in the Avengers Doomsday trailer that we just watched. So the star even kind of looks like Captain Marvel's star. It's not clear if that's because in their universe they've taken her power already. But the metal mask looks closer to the design of the smoother metal mask we saw Doctor Doom wearing in the Fantastic Four post-credit scene. The mask he wears in the Avengers Doomsday trailer is different, more angular, more aggressive, more modernized looking from later comics.
We're going to need a miracle.
The Fantastic Four mask looks more like the original Doctor Doom mask from the 1960s because we all believe that he was meant to be the Doctor Doom of that 828 universe. The Russos did confirm that they are the ones who filmed that Fantastic Four post-credit scene, and it was on the set of Avengers Doomsday, and that Robert Downey Jr. was in that scene. It's not a Doombot or one of his Latverian witches, it was actual Doctor Doom. So it just implies he wears a number of different metal masks. The runes on her gauntlet are also the same rune on Doctor Doom's gauntlet when he raises it to stop Stormbreaker from chopping his head off. Thor went for the head this time. He remembers Thanos. From now on, he always went for the head. And it's the same rune at the top of his throne in the Chinese Comic-Con event Kevin Feige presented at last week, so it seems like he has a throne room, but it's not clear if this was meant to be from Avengers Doomsday or from Avengers Secret Wars, because it looks very Battle World coded God Emperor Doom from Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars run. Without getting more footage, the runes seem like they're just meant to help them channel magic. Doom does this in the comics all the time, etching runes on his armor because he's a magic user, but also makes armor suits like Iron Man, combining the best of both worlds, science and magic and technology. The runes help him channel magic, making him so much stronger, which is also one of the reasons why you never see him getting sick. Speaking of which, thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. I know I'm supposed to be invincible and post videos every single day no matter what, but no surprise there were a couple times in the last few years when I got so sick that I could not force myself to speak. I don't know if it's kryptonite poisoning, but I actually felt like I was going to die a couple times. I finally had to cave and find a new doctor, but since moving to a new area, it was an absolute nightmare trying to find the right doctor to see based on my healthcare plan. It was almost worse than actually being sick. Figuring everything out sucked until I learned about ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click instantly to book an appointment. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or one of the other 150-plus specialties offered on ZocDoc, you can easily search by specialty or symptom to build the healthcare team that's right for you. ZocDoc makes it easy to book an in-network appointment with more than 150,000 providers across 50 states. ZocDoc also helps you get appointments really fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, and you can even score same-day appointments sometimes. No need to call a doctor's office. ZocDoc lets you do everything online. So if you're like me and you typically wait till you're about to die to go see the doctor, stop waiting, stop guessing, and go get yourself the care that you need. Go to my link here, I'll put it up on screen and down in the description below, ZocDoc.com/emergencyawesome to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/emergencyawesome. Don't just get yourself help, get yourself the right help, and thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this. In the report earlier this year, it said that Doctor Doom had a bunch of acolytes serving him in the movie who look like Doctor Doom variants, and I think the people that were reporting on this were just confused, like they weren't big comic book readers, and they're not full Doom variants from other universes like you would normally expect. When you say the word variant, you think it's like another version of the character from another universe. And what they were probably seeing were just a bunch of these Latverian witches that Marvel is calling them, wearing Doctor Doom-coated armor and robes and masks, because reportedly there was another one wearing a golden mask, and there were just other ones that look like versions of Doctor Doom wearing suits of armor like this and masks like this, that are all probably just acolytes of his wearing lesser versions of his armor suits and robes. And it kind of seems now like they're using these Latverian witches, this group here, as a replacement for the Black Swans in Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out. So in that storyline, Doctor Doom goes around the multiverse with Molecule Man, trying to stop the incursions in his own very stabby, severe kind of way, using a massive team of Black Swans. It kind of seems like the Russos decided they didn't want to do the Black Swans, and they're just replacing them with these Latverian witches. Like, oh, simpler concept, just have a whole bunch of Doctor Doom-looking people on screen. It'll be easier for casual audiences to understand. And the other reason why they're probably wearing masks like Doctor Doom, like why would his acolytes want to wear masks unless they were using it for big character reveals and heel turns in the movie, and they take their masks off and you recognize the characters. They're like people that we've seen before, even characters that you thought were friends of the 616 Avengers. Which gets to the Doctor Strange storyline. People wondering, why haven't we seen more Doctor Strange in the Avengers Doomsday trailer? We're supposed to see him in the movie at some point. Why haven't Marvel been promoting him being in the actual movie? Why wasn't he in Chair Watch? During that original Jonathan Hickman Time Runs Out storyline, Doctor Strange creates his own team called the Black Priests, who all wear masks covering their faces, including Doctor Strange himself, so you don't know that it's him leading this team around the multiverse trying to stop the incursions, separate from the 616 Avengers. Like he goes rogue on his own and develops his own plan for stopping the incursions. And then later in the comics, you find out that he was leading this crazy team that you thought were a bunch of villains. Reportedly in Avengers Doomsday, the Russos are going to have Doctor Strange working with Doctor Doom, allying with him, and I think it's meant to feel like a huge betrayal heel turn for the main 616 heroes who thought that he was their ally because he fought with them in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. So it kind of seems like the Russos are just combining a lot of the plot elements from the Black Swans and the Black Priests into these Latverian witches, like it's all kind of this version of this Time Runs Out comic book storyline. Also, when you think Latverian witches, you think of Scarlet Witch. Oh, witch. Scarlet Witch. There was a storyline where she came back in the comics, lost her memory during the Children's Crusade, and Doctor Doom gaslights her into almost getting married to him. They're not going to do that in the movie. Like, she's not going to almost be getting married to Doctor Doom in these two movies. But in that comic book storyline, she was wearing green robes, Latverian Doctor Doom coated, and even though I'm not expecting Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch to be a real big character in Avengers Doomsday, I do think she's going to be a big character in Secret Wars. And I do think the Russos are going for that pull, like if a casual audience member goes into a movie and they see somebody called a Latverian witch, you think the name Scarlet Witch. And throwing more fuel on the fire, the reason why in some of these videos and pictures, the Latverian witch's suit looks brown, like the robes look brown instead of green, is because it is meant to be green colored, but they're using red, quote unquote, red lights to color shift it to look brown. So a lot of people are like, why would you use red lights on this Latverian witch if you wouldn't want people to think of Scarlet Witch? Is it Scarlet Witch underneath that mask? And at the bottom, zoom and enhance, in the rubble, there's a depiction of a character kneeling in the wreckage that looks just like Iron Man, snapping his nano-infinity gauntlet from Avengers Endgame. So it is possible the Russos included this moment on the poster because they're re-releasing Avengers Endgame in theaters later this year before Avengers Doomsday, calling it Avengers Endgame Encore and adding 7 additional minutes of footage to it. Supposedly those 7 minutes are meant to also include a new post-credit scene that sets up Avengers Doomsday. I think that's just a longer version of that Steve Rogers Avengers Doomsday teaser from earlier this year, where he comes back to his house with Peggy Carter, puts his Captain America suit back into storage, and then sees his son be born. And I think the idea based on the Avengers Doomsday trailer footage we just saw is that Loki shows up right after this in his TVA suit with his card that he hands to Captain America, because the curtains in the background of the Loki scene look just like the curtains from inside Peggy Carter in Captain America's house. In early theory, he explains to them that him coming to live in the past and have this new son with Peggy Carter causes a Nexus event, and it's going to cause an incursion, so the TVA is going to prune this new timeline that he creates, because you can't change your past. That was a big deal in Avengers Endgame, explaining how time travel works. By coming back to live with Peggy Carter in the past and change a bunch of things like have a family with her, that just creates a new branch timeline. And the TVA is going to come and prune that timeline. So I think the idea is that Loki comes to save him and take him and Peggy Carter, their family, to another timeline where they can live. Reportedly, that's supposed to be the 828 Fantastic Four universe.
Ben, Yancey Street, between Broome and Grand.
You might remember when the Fantastic Four movie came out a while ago, there was supposed to be a Chris Evans scene that they were going to do for the post-credit scene, in addition to the Doctor Doom post-credit scene, but they wound up cutting it the last minute. Supposedly, it was supposed to be Chris Evans revealed living on that world, like, oh, Captain America is alive and he's living with Peggy Carter in the Fantastic Four's universe. My assumption is they just cut that and decided to save it for this Avengers Endgame encore post-credit scene. Some of those other 7 new minutes that they're adding to Avengers Endgame are going to be during different parts of the movie. Some of them might be deleted scenes. Some of them might be other Avengers Doomsday scenes, new stuff that they filmed that they're just adding back in to add more context and setup for Avengers Doomsday, because the Russos were pretty clear that Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars were meant to be more direct sequels to Avengers Endgame in the consequences of what happens in Endgame and all the time travel stuff. Speaking of Steve Rogers, when you see him on the Fantastic Four ship, calling Mjolnir to his hand, the new version, the broken version from Thor Love and Thunder, and Thor's all freaked out. Like, oh my god, is it you? Is it really you? You have that weird look on your face. Everybody thinks that you're an evil version of Captain America. There are a lot of people who are also asking who is standing behind him on the Fantastic Four ship. There's a blurry figure in the background. He's actually wearing a Fantastic Four uniform. It looks like a man, so I'm guessing that it's just Johnny Storm in his Fantastic Four uniform. But like, that's who's standing behind him. It's not Doctor Doom or something like that. There were a lot of people in the Black Panther scenes during the Avengers Doomsday trailer when they're getting onto that advanced Quinjet, when you see them walking up the steps into the Quinjet after they're getting ready to leave, whatever happens at this scene here, people thinking that Doctor Doom might be the person walking onto the ship. So there might be part of the movie where he's walking around with the 616 heroes trying to pretend like he's actually a good guy trying to help them. My early assumption, based on the footage we've seen so far and the leaked scene of him raising the Sentinels back up with his runes, turning them on everybody else, and like the big Avengers multiverse moment of the wraparound shot of all the characters together fighting him, makes it seem like his heel turn won't come till later in the movie when he reveals that he is actually working against them and he will destroy them if it means accomplishing his goal. But for most of the movie, he thinks that he is the hero that is going to save the multiverse from the incursions. It's just that puts him at odds with all the other characters. So it's like a very Civil War kind of comp where the characters were fighting each other and they want you to be able to root for either of the characters, Captain America or Iron Man. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do the Thanos thing after this movie where people do the Doom was right meme. Dr. Doom was right.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
But the really big reminder is that Comic-Con is happening right now. There's a Lanterns trailer that I'll do a video for tomorrow and a big Marvel panel Saturday night. It's called the What Comes Next panel, but it's supposed to mostly be about Avengers Doomsday. They might reveal some stuff about other upcoming movies like Secret Wars. I'm not expecting any big news about the new 2028 X-Men movie until later this year. The only big X-Men stuff in terms of like new characters, I think, are the classic versions coming back in Avengers Doomsday and maybe Sadie Sink's character in Spider-Man Brand New Day, but that's about it for Comic-Con this weekend. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and let me know what you think is going on with these Latverian witches during Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Make sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of those videos. There's going to be a bunch of other trailers from other stuff too, so just check my channel every once in a while, each day, and you should see all the new stuff that I'm posting. Everybody click here for my video on that big Marvel panel from Saturday night. I'll update the link here as soon as I post that video, and click here for all my other Avengers Doomsday videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.